Go ahead. You have good questions. Keep going.
I heard a rumor.
Forget about it.
That there's this little house across the street which is empty and in very bad condition. Is the people are ready to give it up if they tear it down and take it.
Well, all right.
If
We looked at.
you need more space, is what
No, wait. We looked at the property that went across the culvert, and
No, I don't mean it.
I know about the house, and it's going to be put up for auction. Someone might tear it down and build something else. We're not interested in that property because it just doesn't work.
That's fine.
Don't work.
The stream back there does not work.
That looks like a running river at the moment.
That's pretty good.
There's a rumor.
We have
You don't get what?
Long we don't get this break on the corner.
Oh, the cluster boxes, no, your mailboxes are gonna be in here, forget about it. If this becomes a post office, all the boxes will probably remain the same number, right, Dan? You think that they would probably shift that over? And basically, it's all new stuff. Everything's brand new. And once that gets depostalized, we remove all the boxes, we remove the safe, we remove the sign, and it just is a building sitting there, it's depostalized.
Your box number?
I believe that, that's something to do with operations locally, but there's no reason why we would want to upset anyone's address. I mean, that's not what we're about. We want you to keep your address.
It'd be a nightmare.
Well, I got that.
I had heard, I don't know if I was misinformed, but I heard to have a post office box there, you have to be within a half mile as a crow flies of the post office. So these people right down here
She
have
thinks
what,
that you have to be within a half mile of the post office as the crow flies in order to have a postal box. I've never heard of that. I mean, I remember when I moved down to North Carolina, I had a post box that was 3 miles away.
And why are the people right up the road here?
But let's know why they're rural.
And the other way past the Muse Post is
Yeah, it's a different address.
Dan, do you understand the question? Is there anything you can shed light on there?
I think it's Cannonsburg address.
Yeah,
Anybody
that
can
one.
use. Cannonsburg gets home delivery, Muse just have the free PO box.
But see, I was talking to a woman that lives
Yeah, it's
in the
all
row of houses here. She says her address is Townhall. Yeah.
I would see if they would.
McDonald ends.
And that, well, that's in
You're sitting there
downtown.
bursting at the seams. You have a question, sir?
That's Cannonsburg, that's not Cecil.
Do you have a question?
1920.
No, I just kind of like the soul look on your face. I thought you might have a question. Do you have any answers? We need answers. So folks, do you feel satisfied that we're on the job and we'll do the right thing? We can't tell you what it's going to be yet, but if it will be the right thing. And I'm gratified now that I have 3 plausible options to explore. Not that I have 3 solid options. This is a great idea. I mean, how many of you would like to see the post office in here? You like this? Okay. And those, pardon me. You keep the kitchen, no problem. We'll let you have the kitchen.
When it closes, they're gonna run a transfer.
Dan have to go past lunch.
Hey, whatever it takes, we'll make anyone happy.
He also needs a pot, because so he can take a rest every once in a while.
Listen,
He's very busy.
I was in Bittinger, Maryland yesterday, and someone called to see if there was a snow date in case the weather was bad. It really was, let me tell you. It was foggy and horrible, and I said, well, if our carriers can deliver in rain, sleet, and snow, I can come to a meeting in rain, sleet, and snow. And That's not the first one. So I will, we promise, we'll do everything we can to make this happen because that's our job, that's our plan, this is our mission. Once we get this done, and I have about 30 of these floating around at different stages. So I always have, you know, things that are working in different stages. This is kind of the mid-stage for this because it does have a plan. We will be talking to the fire department about this option and that, and we will be talking to the city about the other option that they're going to try to work out with a landlord to land swap something and see if it's feasible. But if this is the best possible option, it's the cleanest and the safest, and we can work with this the most easily, then I think maybe we have a winner. You know, it's like, why make things more difficult than they need to be? Yes, I want to know if the other options will work, so we always have a backup. But if this seems to be the most plausible, the path of least resistance, that's what I'd like to take. Now, the people who don't want it here, tell me why you wouldn't want it here. Traffic flow? Traffic flow?
What's your concern about access? Just traffic and getting in and out?
Yeah.
Well-
That's my opinion. Congestion on the road, even when you, the post office up here.
Let me ask you a question. And in the morning and in the afternoon, when the school buses are flying by, I bet you're concerned about, you know, your safety there, you want to stay away from the post office. Patterns form for different reasons, and I think as, let's just say that it did go here, you know, the city and the people would pattern themselves and it would end up working out. No one wants anyone to get into an accident, least of all the postal service of the city. And if that means that there's a sign that says slow pedestrian crossing or something else like that, or speed bumps, whatever the DOT does that they do, they'll do. I will call the architect who was with us today, and I'll let him know that this is fairly, you know, it's a good room. I will take pictures of everything and I'll email them to him. And he's still in the general area. He might come back tomorrow, I don't know, but I'll give him a ring after this.
I have a comment about the exit, about the road, Oak Street.
Right.
We have a fence up here, and we have it lots, which you could go up easily and see more easily. You would be on the flat pulling out. The reason the gate is locked, there's a drain up there that can't handle traffic. We had spoke to our Public Works Department, Bill Wateroff. Frank, I think you may know a little bit about that. We had spoke with him and asked him if he could fix it for us when they had downtime, you know, like they weren't busy or whatever. And he told us he would, but that was like 2 years ago. And we teasingly asked him if he's ever going to, and I'm not getting down on the guy, he's busy, but we teasingly asked him if he's ever going to fix the drain. Now, it's not.
So there's a gate where some
Yeah.
traffic access could go.
Right against the building where it would be flat. And I'm not getting down on this
What if we were
guy.
to put a United States Postal Service sign there, for example?
Yeah, you could put a sign there.
And that would take care of,
If
it
we
would
got
get rid
that
of the
drain
gate, it
fixed.
would be a useful,
Yes.
To lead from, yes.
Most
Up
of
here in
the
the
people
front is
here,
like parking.
Linda, you know what I'm talking about,
Yeah,
the
there's
gate.
parking spaces up here in front.
But those are for the farmers.
when we adjourn the meeting,
but
would
that
you
gate,
just take me up
yeah,
there and
was
just
enough.
explain it to me?
I will.
Passageway.
As long as that
you
drain
can get
gets
out that
fixed,
way.
and it's just, it's
Okay.
last of our
Yeah.
priorities to fix
We will
that.
build you a beautiful post office with working drains inside, but I cannot speak for the drains outside, I really can't.
And it's our responsibility, it is not the
Now,
township's.
let me ask you something, that drain, does that drain overflow and flood into the space?
No, it's
Okay.
never overflowed, but it needs repaired.
Okay.
It just won't take
He
the
told
weight
me
of a
it'd be a
vehicle.
wintertime project, so
Yeah.
now's wintertime.
Yeah, well, that was last winter.
Well, all
Like I
right,
said,
I
I understand.
I have a
it's busy.
feeling if we end up doing this, somehow that'll get repaired fairly quickly.
Yeah. But it would be so much easier, you would be actually almost on the flat pulling out.
Okay, but
Yeah.
you see, the
That's
postal
better.
service is apolitical. All we want to do is have you receive mail and send mail. And you know, the mechanics of how the city works is the mechanics of how the city works. You have to take that up with them, but we promise you, we'll make you a nice post office, whatever it is that we end up building. Ma'am?
Yes, I do have a question. Not a question so much as a comment. I think
post office were here,
Yeah,
you're renting from the fire department,
right.
okay? The fire department is gonna be making money,
Wait a second.
and it's a win-win situation, as far as I'm concerned.
Okay, but
I mean, it truly is.
you have to look at volunteer fire departments. The equipment they have to buy, and it is, how do you say, it's like a life vest on a plane. It has a life, and then they have to replace it whether they like it or not, even if it's good.
Right.
So, you know, you have truck maintenance, you have equipment maintenance.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If you're paying us rent, you're doing a good thing for this community and this fire hall.
Yeah, this is why I
This
was
is like
bringing
a
up,
win-win situation.
I was bringing up Fawn Grove before because they were kind of starving and then they're doing really well with this program. Look at it as, you know, a supplemental program because they're the ones who take care of you, fire, car crash, flood, whatever it is. You know, they head into danger, and so if they're making some income this way, it's very important because it does benefit the town.
And they never get enough. A volunteer fire department never gets enough donations. They never.
Well, it's a pattern, it's a
I say
pattern.
this is a good thing. I think it's a good thing.
Well, I'm glad, thank you for the support.
For our community, it's a good thing.
Well, and you know what? Write me a letter, send me an email with that, because it's important that the vice president of real estate, before he signs off on that final determination letter, sees that. It's positive feedback. You don't know how much negative feedback we get. I would much rather present positive feedback because it impels something to go forward. Ma'am?
Determination letter,
Yeah.
will that be sent to Dan? Will we all get a letter?
Oh, it gets posted publicly, but it goes to the Cecil Township Chair, Eric Sivazek. Savazek, and it's posted in the post office, along with, I think there is a press release that goes along with that. So, yeah, that's it. And I noticed that my ad was copied umpteen times and put on the post office. I love that. I have some postmasters who just don't do that. You know, it's important for everyone to know what's going on in their town, like a church. A post office is a very important meeting place. You know, there's a lot that goes on. The carriers should always be thanked. It's almost like a 6-day pass by just to make sure everyone's okay. Delivering the mail, noticing that the mailbox is too full. Uh-oh, what's wrong with that person? You know, so you know, all these folks on the ground who are doing all this hard work, you know, my hat's off to them. We wouldn't be here without you, and they wouldn't be where they are without you either. So, you know, you're our postal constituents. You know,